Despite what their moms told them, they just aren't talented enough for radio. Unfortunately, anyone can have a show these days. Sean.
Well, I'm pretty hard to figure out sometimes. In fact, I can't even figure myself out sometimes, so don't even try to.
Joe.
You're an idiot. And really a disloyal person.
This is the Cuse Militia. Now, those two unapologetically biased orange-blooded homers, Sean and Joe.
It's the most bullshit thing I've seen in 30 years.
Welcome, orange men and ladies. Happy Wednesday. This is the Cuse Militia with Sean and Joe at Cuse Militia on the socials. Go there, join the militia. The most bullshit I ever seen was last night. Thanks for tuning in and hanging out with us. We appreciate all of you. Syracuse shoots blanks in a duel with Pittsburgh as they could only muster up 53 points in the loss. You'll hear from us and we'll hear from you in fan feedback. Then a prime time matchup in the ACC this Saturday night as the 9-11, 3-6 Orange take on the 17-4, 7-3 Demon Deacons. We'll let you know what we think about that. Exciting stuff back at the Dome. If you know me, Joe, and you know me, and many of you, if you've been listening for any amount of time, like, I don't know, a year, two, you'll know that when football is done, I'm done. I don't want to talk about football. I want to focus on basketball. Pure, unadulterated basketball. Just consume myself with it. Bathe in it, if you will. But, you know what? Not so much anymore, Joe. Some good news, though, on the football front, which I am extremely excited about. I'd kill for a football game tomorrow. Or Saturday, rather.
You ain't lying.
I would watch Syracuse football over Syracuse basketball at 8 o'clock and be extremely happy. Look, I kid, kinda. Elijah Clark, Joe, former high school teammate of Deuce Chestnut. He'll be transferring from Rutgers to Syracuse. Clark was a 4-star recruit, according to 247 and Rivals, getting a 94 rating from 247 Sports and named the second best player in New Jersey. Syracuse did send an offer during Clark's initial recruitment, but he chose to join Rutgers a month later, according to Noon's Magician. Now, look, this will be, 5? So, Braylon Oliver, Dan Villari, the quarterback we talked about, right? Juwan Price, and CJ Hayes, who I think we just talked about CJ Hayes in the last episode.
DJ.
Yeah, I'm sorry. The wide receiver. So this will be 5, which is, making moves. We talked about at the end of last football season how Babers, he's got to go all in. He's got to put all the chips in the middle of the table and do everything he can to fill the coaching voids, to fill all of the player voids. And while we have Deuce Chestnut and Garrett Williams, Deuce Chestnut, as I mentioned, a former teammate of Elijah Clark, got them as the cornerbacks. But, there's got to be room for this guy, Elijah Clark. Now, I didn't know of Elijah Clark, I'm going to be honest, until yesterday. But 4-star, second best out of New Jersey, Joe. And you're better at this. So what do you think? Is this pretty good or what? It sounds pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, this, again, he would be the highest recruit that we would have had last year or in that cycle or this year. He was the number 277 overall recruit. So he's the top 300 player and overall the 22nd best corner. So obviously this guy, I mean, he was getting burned at Rutgers as a true freshman, and they said that he was pretty much going to be one of those guys biting for a starting position. I don't know why he decided to transfer, but I'm glad he did.
Well, I think probably Deuce played a role in that, I would hope, right?
Well, I mean, you'd like to think so. And, that's another thing. Deuce had something to do with getting Dennis Jaquez Jr. or something like that on signing day to get him to flip. He wasn't a lot of people didn't think he was going to be going to Syracuse, and they said that Deuce helped with the Dennis Jacquez Jr., defensive end from New Jersey, who also actually was a tight end in New Jersey as well. So with our tight end situation, who knows if that might be a two-way player possibly, but looks to me like Deuce Chestnut is really helping helping the team out a little bit here with this recruiting. And again, to get a guy that, first off, to think about the two those guys were two cornerbacks on a same high school football team. That's insane, number one. But now, they've been playing high school together, and now they're going to, reunite back in Syracuse. And, that's something I'm definitely looking forward to. Don't know if he's going to be able to start, but I know that just helped out our cornerbacks exceptionally, especially with some of the guys that we lost in the transfer portal. So you're talking Deuce Chestnut now, Garrett Williams coming back now with this guy too. I mean, you're looking at lockdown corners. Even if the other team wants to go nickel and you want to throw Clark in the slot, I mean, we got guys very deep there now. So very happy about this.
Yeah, it is CJ Hayes, by the way. What'd I say? You corrected me. You said DJ. It's CJ. Not that it matters that much, but I just looked it up. Okay. Look, Joe, you're usually right.
Look.
Usually. Okay?
It was on the Syracuse.com article, and it says DJ Hayes. So that's what I read it off of.
Oh, really?
But you're right. It is CJ.
They're wrong.
Yes, they're wrong.
Okay. Now, I would rather stick a toothpick under my toenail and kick a wall. But we're going to do this, and we're going to do it. We're going to do this, and we're going to do it quickly, and we're going to make the most of it, Joe. Okay?
Okay.
I don't listen to other podcasts. I don't know what the hell they're doing. I don't care. I don't know what they talk about. But we're going to do this Sean and Joe Cuse Militia style, which is to just mock it. Because I don't know what else to do, Joe. All right? And all I see is the top of your head. Okay?
Yeah.
So fix your phone. It's driving me nuts. All right. Let's hear what Coach had to say after the loss at Pitt. I warn you, the audio once again is absolutely terrible.
This is the worst ever.
I pulled what I could. What was audible, and I put it together the best I could. It's got all the important points in it, and we'll go over it right after this.
Joe and Cole, have to be contributors. If they're not, we're going to struggle. They moved the ball well, but overall, the defensive numbers are fine. We're not winning games, scoring 53 points. It's just not who we are. I'm concerned about winning a game. Are you kidding me? Do you see anything that looks like a tournament team out there? Do you? Well, then why ask the question? We're concerned about trying to win a game. Period. When Buddy has to get to go that many places to do that much, and he got in the lane, and we finally got on the boards. Jesse's watching from the foul line. He finally got to the boards a little bit and got a couple offensive rebounds and got the ball inside. And, he just doesn't have enough basketball experience. He goes to the foul line, he changes his shot. I felt from the beginning when he came to Syracuse it would take him 3 years to get to be able to be a contributor. And people's expectation, we need him to do more, but I don't think he's capable of it. I think he's gotten better. But when he catches the ball down low and tries to make a move, he can't even get a shot up. He literally can't even get a shot up down there because he gets bumped. He just isn't strong enough. And he's a good player. If he was strong, he'd be a really good player. Well, yeah, Joe was out of it, and, I thought he would take charge. I thought he would say, okay, Samuel's not here. I've got to do something, and he didn't do that. It was very disappointing. We're not going to go with Buddy at the point for more than a couple minutes, if that. It's just not what we do. It's not what he does. But, yeah, Samir has really helped us the last 2 or 3 games. He's getting better and more comfortable. And it does give a chance, if Joe's a little off, that he can get in there and try to get something going for us. He's played well, but he's hurt, and I don't know. He may be out for a while. We don't know. He might be back, but, we don't know yet. We'll have to wait and see. But, yeah, he would help us. No question about that.
All right, today's episode of the Cuse Nation and the Coach Montage is brought to us by Sports Drink, your digital water cooler. Sports Drink is a newly created internet community that tries to find the intersection of sports and not sports. They're here to help us grow and to hate your favorite team. A rising tide lifts all boats, so go check them out online or at social. Go to sportsdrink.org, open Instagram and type Sports Drink, that's spelled SPRTSDRNK. No vowels, okay? They have a number of podcasts besides the NCAA podcast that they have. They have MLB, they have NFL, they have skate, they have, what am I missing? The NBA, wherever the hell that is. Plenty of podcasts to choose from. You can find them on iTunes or Spotify. Go check them out. Okay. So, right off the top, Joe and Cole have to be contributors. Yes, I would say so, especially considering Jimmy, Joe, and Cole combined for 7 to 33, 21% between those three guys. Not going to win games like that, Joe. Not going to win games.
It's 20 points.
It's 20 points. It's not good. When you look at it like we only scored 53, I guess it's not terrible. I mean, but no, it's terrible.
You got to look at the percentage on that, right? Because Buddy scored 25 shooting, 23 shots, but 4 of them are from the free throw line. But there was also 4 other points, so really it was 16 off those shots with those other guys, and it's just frustrating because it's just we're seeing other teams get better, and we're not. And what happens when you don't get better is teams figure out how to play you, and teams have figured out to be physical with us, and they got to rebound, obviously. But you stop Buddy and you stop Jesse and try to make the other 3 beat you. And I felt like that's what yesterday was. And Buddy did what he had to do, tried his best. Eventually took some tough shots, like his dad said, because no one else was doing anything. And it's frustrating. It's just very, very frustrating because normally we have a bench and you have a season where we see Syracuse, get better and they progress and learn how to play with each other. They get confidence. He figures out his rotations. And obviously this year there's just really none of that, and we're not getting any better. And it's just frustrating watching these other teams not only get better, but learn how to beat a team that's just not changing.
Yeah,
it's what it is.
It is. You're right. Tony Staffieri on Twitter gave the groundhog meme. It's exactly Groundhog's Day, guys. Nothing has changed. We'll get to it. The one thing that has changed, we will get to. Defense, not an issue. Pittsburgh scored right at their average. We gave them 61 points last time, 64 points this time. I wouldn't say the defense was great. Just a lot of missed opportunities on the offensive end, if you're going to be honest about it. I mean, obviously the offense was terrible. It was terrible. Yep. The missed bunnies, Joe, it was bad. It was bad.
Six turnovers.
6 turnovers. I mean, he had more turnovers than he had points. So.
By double.
By double. So, I mean, look, we'll get into that. I'm going down the line here. We'll get into Joe. Coach was asked about, but you agree, right? Defense not an issue is a little bit of an exaggeration.
There's been games in this season where the defense has been an issue and been the reason why we lost. This was not one of them.
Right. This was not one of them, but the defense, I mean, we should have won. Holding Pittsburgh to 64 points, we should have won. Plain and simple, right? Okay. Coach was asked about NCAA tournament or looking like a tournament team or something along those lines. I couldn't hear. Look, if these people need a sound guy. I mean, who sets this crap up? Who sets this crap up for the
conference? Went is about as good as the game did. In my
No kidding. Look, and here's another thing. Notice everywhere Syracuse is going, outside of Syracuse, people are there. It isn't Zoom bull crap. It is actual people sitting in a press room, and he's answering and taking questions. Like, let's cut out the garbage, get back to some normalcy within Syracuse. Period. You're gonna have. Well, we'll talk about it later. We'll talk about it later. He wants to win a game. Period. Like, what are you doing asking about the tournament? Like, this team needs to win. I am sold that this is going to be Coach's first losing season. At this rate, the way we're headed right now is going to be not only the worst season of our lifetimes, Joe, but the Coach's first losing season in 46 years.
Yeah. I mean, it's not an exaggeration. And I think, even I was trying to stay positive last podcast and talk about how we're playing the bottom barrel of the ACC and how, most of our games have been against the top 4 or 5, in the ACC. So we have a good stretch here, the next 8 games. But we play like we play. Boston College, people say, oh, you can't lose to Boston College. I've seen them play. They're gritty and they have athletes. And they're going to play tough and physical, and they're not going to give up. And if we play like we did last night, we will be swept by Boston College. So something's got to give because I've been trying to be positive, and I thought that this could be a situation where we could possibly go on a run.
And
who knows, maybe it's a situation. We'll never know how many minutes Symir would have gotten in this game, and if it would have been the turn, the change of it. But again, this is the crux of having 3 scholarship guards on your roster. And one gets hurt. So shoulda, coulda, woulda, like you say, if ifs and buts were candy and nuts. But it's hard for me not to believe that, Symir wouldn't have came in and played. And like I said, you can't say in hindsight whether we would have won. But it's just a situation where we saw Symir kind of grow up a little bit and earn some more minutes. And the way that Joe was playing, there's no doubt in my mind that he would have put up 20 plus minutes, and who knows what would have happened. So it's just unfortunate. But with this team, especially without Symir and what he was doing, it's just gone from bad to worse.
Well, we talked. It's just like it just figures because the last show we talked about how big we were on Cy and how much. Just like this kid is just getting. He's the only one that seems to be progressing. Buddy is Buddy.
No, Jesse.
Okay, has Jesse progressed though?
I think he has.
He has.
He's progressed with confidence.
He has. We'll get to Jesse. You went out of order. We're talking about Cy right now. We'll get to Jesse. It's fine. But Cy is making strides. Obviously, to the eye, anybody who watches Syracuse basketball can see the difference when Symir Torrance is on the floor. And he plays, 24 minutes, gets hurt. It doesn't seem too bad. Now we just don't know. He could be out. Who knows, man?
Right.
Who knows?
Yeah.
We don't know. Coach don't know. First we heard, the next 2 games, and now we're at the I don't know. Could be a long time.
And I thought we were in a situation where we were about to see, another player grow, add another layer to the team, some depth, and
it's a dagger. I feel like it's a dagger. I feel like Cy getting injured and being sidelined is the dagger for this team. He is exactly what they've needed the entire year. The dude starts doing playing the role that he needs to be playing for this team to be successful, and he's sidelined. I feel like, I'm floored. It's like this team can't even catch a break on that end.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's overall tough, man.
It's overall tough. Jesse, yes. Joe, obviously, of course. Jesse has made strides with his athleticism, but in the passes, some of the shots he makes are really athletic shots. They really are. They're a lot of them are up close, but they're tough. And he's made a lot of tough shots, and he's done a lot of tough things, and he's definitely learning the game. He's a freaking monster on defense. What is he? 2nd in the ACC in blocks, like 9th in the country, and he's awesome. He's an amazing player. But like Coach said, he's weak, man. And if he could be strong, he would be an absolute terror
Yeah,
but
that's not something.
He's got to get stronger with the ball. He looks like a pinball down there most of the time.
But again, that type of stuff you don't change in the middle of a season.
No,
right?
you
It's
don't.
Not that he's not tough, right? So I think that's really the situation. And honestly, Jim caught a lot of flack on this. There's a couple articles out there throughout the Syracuse,
See, I don't
the web
bother
and the news.
Okay, well, I don't bother. I don't bother with them.
Banging on him.
They're banging on Jesse too.
No, they were banging on Coach Boeheim for bringing up Jesse and kind of almost like he was giving him blame or saying that he just wasn't ready to do what he needs him to do or something like that. But he's progressed.
I think Coach said in the, I don't know. Coach said in the presser, Buddy, the only one he didn't put blame on was Buddy. Plain and simple. He mentioned Joe. He mentioned Cole briefly. Another player who just will not break through. Yeah, he did. It's in the montage. Cole and Jimmy need to do more for this team.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Cole and Jimmy need to do more for this team to be successful. They have to contribute. And then he said basically at one point, I don't think it was in the montage, but he mentioned Buddy, and he said, Buddy played great, but no, it's because no one else did anything else. He blamed the team except for Buddy. Buddy can't do everything. He had a couple bad games. He's streaky, and inconsistent sometimes, but he's getting all the attention. I don't know what you want the guy to do. I don't know how much blame Buddy can get for any of it. It's Joe, it's Cole, it's Jimmy, and it's Coach. And you got John Bolajak in there before you put Benny in. You got John Bull and Jesse in, and I'm like, is Benny that bad in practice? Is he that bad that we got John Bolajak and Jesse Edwards in at the same time?
Well, and at some point, too, it's like, if players are, if you want to bring up practice, and this is like, there's only so many times you can do good in practice, but then not do something out in a game where you're like, well, maybe this whole practice thing is a little overrated, right? Like
practice? Yeah.
Sometimes people don't get up for practice in the game. Again, we've seen flaws in Benny's game, and I think every Syracuse fan is, there's fans out there that call for Benny all the time, right? And some more than others. And I think that I could probably speak for mostly everybody, unless you're just a fan that thinks that just Benny just hasn't gotten a chance. But when he's been in there, he hasn't. He's not kind of providing the help that I thought he was going to be able to provide.
No, I would
season and that a 5-star. So, and I think a lot of people would, but at the same time, when you see this, it's hard not to be like, well, why not Benny?
That's what I'm saying. You see John Bull and Jesse on the floor at the same time, and I'm like, well, where the hell's Benny? He gets 3 minutes after all that. John Bull got 10. It just doesn't make any sense to me. I want to be a fly on the wall in practice. I got to see how bad Benny is in practice. He must be terrible. I don't know what to say, man. I don't know what to say. I don't. I'm at a loss for words, man. I just come on here and complain. I'm sorry, guys. That's where I'm at right now. I thought for sure they would win this game. Well,
if you want to turn the tide, you have to. And that's
it's a must win. This is a quad 3 game on the road. That's how bad Pitt is. And by the time the season is over, like I said in the last show, this is going to be a quad 4 loss. There's no doubt about it.
We're 1-4 in quad 3 games.
That's terrible. Terrible. Jeez, some crow.
Still 5-0 in quad 4 games, though.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. Somehow that Colgate game's still holding on to a quad 3.
Oh my gosh! All right. Look, it's time to switch. It's time to switch gears. Let's have all of you air your grievances. Let's go.
It's time to hear from you, the loudmouths from the Loud House.
You guys know what to do. At the end of every game, I ask for your thoughts on said game, and most of you will rant and rave, and I'll read them, and I'll laugh, and I'll cry, and then I'll pick some, and we'll talk about them here. Okay? All right, let's start with Facebook and Mark. Look, this is a good one. I will want to get. I don't know if you read any of these, Joe, but I'd love to get your thoughts on this one in particular. I'm going to start with it. Normally, I'd shelf it and save it for last, but I'm going to start with it. First time, Mark says, first time all year that I've seen it, but they quit tonight. Things are about to get very ugly up on the hill. I can't be the only one that saw a bad basketball team that quit tonight. Joe.
Yeah.
The effort at the very least, if I'm being as positive as possible, the effort at the very least was just pathetic in the second half.
Mm-hmm.
And you watched it happen again. How many times have we seen Syracuse build a lead in the first half, then lose it, barely scrape by the time the horn hits at the end of the first, and then just completely fall apart in the second show? But first time all year, he's saying they quit. Mark's saying they quit, Joe. Did they quit? Were they just tired?
I mean, the other team only put out 2 more bench points than they did. So their starters played pretty much just as much as their starters. So I don't really think that you can use. I don't think you can use the tired effect to that point. I completely agree with that comment, to be perfectly honest with you.
Really? Because this is not something we've ever really thrown around. I don't remember us ever.
I don't know if it's okay. So I can't really say that the whole team quit.
Well, obviously, but
I think that
to
there
your
was
eye,
individuals.
Okay,
I think there was individuals, and I think that there were certain points that, you look at it where you have a.
Joe
you put in a little bit more effort. You make a couple more free throws because our free throws were not great last night either, 9 of 16. And then maybe when Joe finally hit his first shot of the game with 36 seconds to go and made it a 53-60 game.
It's a Cole move, right?
What's that?
It's a Cole move.
That's a Cole move, yeah, exactly. No. Cole's move this game was, I'm going to come out and make a shot and make you think I'm going to do something for the first half.
And then just fade away. Scored the first 3 points.
Come out in the second half, and he's going to make 2 baskets, make you think that he's going to help the team pull away, and then he just disappears. But no, that's really, what it is it'd be a couple plays here, a couple plays there, a couple free throws, and that game at the end would have been competitive, and we just didn't do it. And I can't say the whole team quit because Buddy didn't quit, but things seem to be getting a little, hairy up there. And it's tough, too, when you look at all the guys that we lost last year and then the rumblings of, there was cliques or there was bad locker room stuff or there was it's interesting because I don't know how ugly it's going to get at the Hill, and that's the other thing is I don't really understand what exactly that means about how ugly it is in the Hill unless there's going to be a lot of pressure with the athletic director. But I can't see a situation where coach loses a locker room with two children on it, 2 sons on it. You know what I mean? So, I feel like they're going to bounce back and they'll play some games. Obviously, they're going to come out and they're going to play and they'll win some more games and everything like that. But what else are they going to do? I think that there's a lot of things that this team needs to come out and do for the rest of the season to kind of, I don't even want to say I don't want to make it act like they owe the fan base, but we you said, we're in uncharted territory, bro.
Yeah, well,
we have never seen this. Most people probably living, not to be whatever, but I don't know how long it's been since we've been this bad this far into the season, as far as 9 and 11.
Dude, I don't think we were alive.
We definitely weren't alive.
That's the point.
I know that.
It was in the 60s. I'm almost positive.
Well, either way, like I said, that's why it's uncharted territory, and that's why last podcast I was trying to be so positive, right? And in my head I'm thinking, of course we're going to be able to come back and at least get on the bubble because that's at least minimum of what we've done since I've been alive and I've known Syracuse basketball, right? But Matt in the Hat, he posted something on Facebook today, and it was the ACC transition kind of thing that they popped up during the game, and where Syracuse and Pittsburgh were with their records and how they finished in the ACC the first year versus 2 years after, or actually after the first year till now. And both of those programs have taken a substantial step backwards. And I think it was, a bunch of people talking about, missing the Big East and all this other kind of stuff. But
what are you gonna do?
You don't know if it's the coach or if it's this or if it's just the ACC and it's just changed things. I don't know, but one way or another, like, something's got to happen here.
Yeah, that was a really long response to Mark's comment, Joe. Peter.
Sorry.
Peter.
But look, he's right.
Yeah.
I think he's right. I don't want him to be right.
Right.
But I think that a lot of that has some truth to it.
Mark,
Sorry.
Mark, I know Mark. I don't know if he knows that's us, that this page is us, and I don't know if he listens, but shout out to Mark if he does. ESM grad, a couple years ahead of me.
Okay.
Peter. Syracuse is an embarrassment. They need a new AD and changes in football and basketball. Jim Boeheim will always be a hero at SU, but his coaching and zone defense is a thing of yesterday. Look, Joe, I credit you with the point that I really never hear the devil's advocate argument to switching out of the zone. Now, I guess you could switch up the zone a little bit, which he tried a little bit this year, but we haven't seen it lately, right? But the fact that we just haven't had in the past few years the athleticism to hang with man-to-man on defense. So, I mean, we're getting burned bad enough, the way I look at it. And I don't see that argument anywhere on Syracuse media. There's just certain places I don't, like Syracuse.com, I don't really scroll, but, Noon, Syracuse SI, all of those I do scroll, and I've never seen that argument there. I could be wrong, but I've never seen it. So I don't know if, one thing I will say, and two things we talked about last time. We're missing a recruiting in Mike Hopkins. And maybe Mike Hopkins wouldn't be the best coach for Syracuse, but Mike Hopkins brings the energy, dude. He just has in the players, but he has the personality to hype these kids up. They're trying to get hyped up off a 77-year-old man. Well, I mean, you have to have that. I don't see G-Mac anywhere. I'm not saying he's not doing anything, but I would love to see G-Mac take a presser. I want to hear what he has to say. Yeah. Instead of Coach being up there. I want to hear G-Mac at halftime. Something. Like, I want to see something different. I want to know what's going on. Because I'm so confused. I'm just lost with everything. Nate on Facebook. Yes? No? Maybe so? Nate on Facebook, not good in the first half, awful in the second half, no adjustment seemingly at all, and only garbage minutes for Benny despite lackluster guard play. Tough to watch. Yeah, I mean, we made the point about Benny. Kind of weird seeing John Bull out there for 10 minutes and him out there for 3. And, maybe coach is thinking it's not the right game to play around, but obviously when Joe gets like he was getting last night, it's done, dude. It's done. He all too often does that where he just shuts down. And if he starts hot, he stays hot. If he starts cold, he can get hot, but if he struggles like he was struggling last night, I felt like he took 30 shots, Joe, and he only took 9. I felt like he took 30. It was just
because every one of them were bad and they stuck out, and that was the thing. Like, and that's I think another thing is that's one of the biggest problems that we have. I mean, you could point to the athleticism and being able to move in the 2-3 zone and everything like that. But we've usually always had some type of, penetrating point guard that can kick out and, is really, a good, assist guy. And we've usually had multiple guys that could go to the basket and stuff like that. Right. We don't need a guy that's if you're a point guard, there might be some games you don't score. But your main objective is to get your other teammates the ball in places where they can score the basketball. And it's like you can't have a point guard that if he comes out and he's like score first mentality, and if he misses a shot, he's just done offensively and defensively, mentally. You can't have that. Like if you're a point guard and you're a true leader, you miss a couple shots. Okay, now I'm just, it's not my night. I'm going to get my other guys in going. But instead, 4 assists, 6 turnovers, 3 points.
Yeah, well, he had more turnovers than anything.
Yeah. And It's literally just a
shots.
situation where that's not the point guard that you want.
Well, right. He's not a good point guard. He's not really a point guard. That's what we were talking about with Samir. Top fan on Facebook, Brian. SU quit, plain and simple. When you lose by double digits to a really bad team, then it's time to start looking at the coach. I mean, I put a lot of blame. I'm not, I call it like I see it. And in the past, I have always given Jim Boeheim the benefit of the doubt because more times than not, guys, he's turned it around. And what he has said was proven early in the year, was proven to be true later in the year. And whether it be the development of players or anything, things he needs to work on that they did change. The difference is this year is that we're not seeing any progress. And we're not seeing any progress. I feel like it's the players. So I think he's got it a little backwards. But there are a lot of coaching questions that I have, and we talk about them. There's been like one every game for like the past 4 games where I'm just like totally confused by what Jim Boeheim is doing with the lineup and everything. I mean, mostly the rotations. We see a lot of weird stuff early. We gave him the benefit of the doubt midway, but last night was the most mind-boggling I think that I could think of recently, and for that, yeah, he deserves some of that blame. I mean, you and I have been harder on Coach this year than I think this is our 6th year covering Syracuse basketball. This is the hardest we've ever been on him, for sure. And I think he deserves a little bit of it. I just don't know why, I guess. Like why, what's different? Is it really just him showing favoritism? Is the bench really not that good? Is John Bolajok a better option than Benny? I don't think so. I just don't think so.
Yeah, a lot of it to me just comes down to there's just the athleticism. We're just, there's certain things that you can teach and you can get better at, but at the end of the day, I mean, there's certain things that, God's only going to give you so many gifts, so to speak, right? You just can't, certain things you can't just do. And by this time, when it gets to this point, like, you're not going to gain so much type of athleticism, or you're not going to grow too much more. I mean, I know that some people do in college, but especially guys, but there's certain things that you're just not going to, that you can't just teach, right? You can't teach height. You can't teach certain speed, side to side movement, stuff like that. You can help a little bit. You can take a tenth of something off here or something, but overall, I mean, it is what it is. So I think it's just a situation where it just is not a normal type of Syracuse roster. I don't even know if it's the zone defense. I don't even know if it's the way that he runs his offense. It's just this group of people cannot do it.
Right.
If that makes sense. I'm not trying to
No, I think that's what I was saying.
Or anything, but it's...
That's what I was saying. There's some coaching decisions that we definitely have questioned and that I definitely think could have been better. But when he's talking about, where we are in the season right now, to blame coach, I mean, the players they're the ones with the ball in their hand. I mean, they have to do something, so I blame a lot of it on them. I mean, how many games have we had where everybody is firing on all cylinders, or maybe you're not scoring, but you're doing something? It's very rare. Maybe one game. There was one. What was it? Wasn't that long ago. I couldn't tell you right now. I don't have it in front of me. But maybe the Florida State game? That was a little while ago.
Right. But you can't put muscle on somebody, right? Like
no,
Jesse
you can't put
Edwards,
muscle. I mean, can you teach effort?
As good as he is right now, right? Like,
can you teach mindset? Joe's mindset just isn't great.
Can you though? Are you a coach or a psychologist? I mean,
that's what I'm saying.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't
Right.
know. Right. And like Jesse, I mean, I think to Coach's point is that he's not saying that Jesse's bad. He's just saying that
he needs to get stronger.
At this point, he can only do what he can do with his strength.
Exactly.
If he wants to go to the next level, he needs to get stronger. That's all he was saying. And a lot of guys.
And we have said that all year. That was his one fault. That the one thing that he can't fix this year is his strength. He's weak with the ball. Nadal on Facebook. Cuse has been mentally weak all season. Not sure how you fix that. To Joe's point, Joe didn't know I picked this comment, but to both of our points, really. Not sure how to fix it. I don't know if he can. Though I can't imagine a half-empty home game against a better Wake Forest team is going to be help. Yeah. That's another thing. They're going to watch their fans dwindle down. I got a text message last night from Tony, our boy Tony. Shout out. He's in the green room right now. And he's like, look, this is not going to bode well for the home game coming up this Saturday. It's going to be pathetic. That, along with all the other COVID rules inside the dome, it's going to stink. It's going to stink bad. All right. Hold on. We got to get more going than that. Top fan, our boy Zach on Facebook. He's going to say it. He's going to say it, guys. He's going to say it. And he warns me that he's going to say it. He says, man, I'm going to say it. Time for Jim to retire. And dare I say, Rick Pitino to make his D1 comeback at the right ship and right the ship. I hate to admit, but Pitino is still probably the best coach, if not one of the best in the nation. I mean, I'd love to see Nate Oates type walk in the door, but I don't see us having the muscle to pull someone like that at this point of the arms race. So, look, Pitino, he was here before, if I'm not mistaken, right? So, very familiar with Syracuse in general. Assistant coach to Jim Boeheim. Good friends with Jim Boeheim. I always loved Rick's attitude and swag. He got caught up in some stuff a couple of years back. Louisville won a championship with Louisville. Good coach. Good coach. Getting old too, though. Getting old too. Zach. If you want, Zach's in the green room. Zach, if you want to piggyback on any of your comments, go ahead. Here he is. Hold on. Let's see. Zach, you there? Unmute yourself. You're muted. Or do I unmute you? There you go.
What's up, fellas?
What's up, Zach?
What's going on, guys?
What's up, bud?
We're just stewing in it, bro. Just stewing in it.
I feel like a goth kid in the 80s smoking cigarettes and drinking coffee outside the high school, like saying like life is pain, everything's agony. Oh God. These are dark I like what you guys are saying. These are dark waters I've never been in before.
No, it's tough, dude. So, Zach, if you don't mind me asking, how old are you?
27.
Okay. So, all right.
I'm not with the pro Washington. I'm the Johnny Flynn.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, fair enough. Well, I'm more of Billy Owens, Derek Coleman. I was kind of right after.
So you're the old
mid-'80s guy.
I'm the Lawrence Moten, John Wallace.
Yeah, that was the next era for me. It wasn't shortly long after that. But anyway,
we kind of ladder each other. That's you, and we kind of go in succession of each other.
There's a little gap, but I will say this: it's not this like it used to be, man. And even back when you're talking the Johnny Flynn days, I mean,
oh God,
that was
so fun.
Dude, it was so much fun.
I was in third grade, and we would shut class down and watch the games.
Oh yeah,
during the tournament. Yeah. I mean, it was you know what I mean? It was a big deal.
We used to do the same thing.
Yeah, it's That's just. Right. Do you guys think it's something where, with us going to the ACC and the death of the Big East, that it's kind of this parabolic shift of like the tectonic plates of the NCAA where?
That's deep, bro.
I know. I don't. But is it like? I don't even know how to explain it because it's not just us. It seems like other Northeast schools are just kind of floundering. There's kind of like, I don't know though. Then again, I with gambling now legal in New York State, I've been watching a lot more college basketball than I should be. But I mean, I can't believe it, but I've been actually watching Rutgers games and like interested in them. I'm like, what the hell is going on right now? I know. Again, this is all for money, folks. This is all for money. This isn't to root for anybody. But I'm so rocked. I hear you guys talk, and I'm like, yeah, we're all just rocked right now. I don't know.
We all are.
I don't know. Here's what I was thinking today as I was driving. I had a long drive today at work, and I was thinking, I'm like, what is it? What could it be? and I can't put my finger on it, but I can tell you going forward, I don't think the NIL stuff, as much as I agree and think that it should be implemented. So sloppy. It's sloppy, but I don't think it's going to help SU. I don't think it's going to help SU's recruiting. I just don't. I just am not. Completely agree. I'm just not sure about it.
I think you're going to see the SEC and the Big Ten really start stepping it up because they have they're these stupid public schools, and these people they're so ferocious about it. It's not fun when you're just buying a team. That's not fun. That's not college sports.
That's not how college sports used to be. No, but it's how college sports is going to be. And
it's so boring though. It's just
it definitely used to be too.
Well, yeah, but it was under the table.
Under the table, exactly.
Yeah, that's true.
People in Tuscaloosa.
I don't know. Being a YMCA rep doesn't really speak to $1 million contract, but let's talk to the NCAA about that.
I just don't think it helps. Let's put it that way. Although I agree with it, but I think in the last episode someone mentioned sanctions. I think we're way through the sanctions.
They definitely hurt though.
They hurt way longer than they should have. They hurt way longer than they should have. Yeah,
I think that's the big question. Is it because we went to the ACC or because of the sanctions? Because you can sit there and say, obviously, since we've joined the ACC, our recruiting and our season, our success has gone down. Right?
You know what? I honestly, I think it's more ACC because even with the sanctions, we've been watching this decline for the last 10 years. We've been watching.
To Sean's point earlier, too, we lost Coach Hopkins' recruiting as well. Is it that?
Yes, you're right.
I mean, there's a bunch of. I think it's one of those things where you can't just pin it on one thing because a lot of times it's more than just one thing. And I think all three of the things that we just mentioned, you throw that all together and you get this shit stew that we're looking at right now.
So I got a question for you guys. Okay.
Let's hear it.
And this is a good buy, sell, or hold. Who do you think? I don't know if you already talked about this. I just popped in like 10 minutes ago. Who do you think turns around quicker, the football program or the basketball program?
Oh, dude, I think the football program looks like it's turning around. They're not even on the field.
Yeah. We talked about this right in the beginning. It wasn't on Green Room, so you're gonna have to go and hit up the download when the episode comes out. But we definitely talked about that earlier.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and I don't know how long you've listened for a while, Zach. You know how I am about football,
I've been listening to you guys since the year we beat Clemson. Clemson is when I first started listening because I remember I always tell the story of how I listened to you guys give your preview and I was like these guys, and then everything you said happened. I was like, okay, I'm gonna start listening to them.
Now, don't judge us by our predictions.
No.
Okay, especially the basketball.
Now that gambling's legal.
We're not gamblers. Please do not.
Yeah. Dude, it's fun. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. It's really fun.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a parlay guy. That's what I used to do back in the day.
Dude, I won $600 last week.
There you go. Are you a Bills fan, Zach?
We don't need to go on those.
Okay. No, okay. I'll take that.
You answered our question.
Do you think the overtime rules need to be changed?
No, because either way, it was going to be a coin toss. They're both the best quarterbacks in the league.
Right.
It was going to be a shootout. That would just meant that it went till the clock ended. No matter what, it ended on the last possession.
Zach,
the Bills lost the game. It was 13 seconds.
13 seconds. That's exactly what I was going to say. 13 seconds.
Yeah,
hey, look,
that's their fault.
Number one defense in the league. 13 seconds.
I watched a Dino Babers crumble right there. I mean, you kick the squib and then you don't just play soft. You get after him. It's Patrick Mahomes. Get after him. Make him make a stupid decision. He's gonna make the throw.
Yeah. Josh Allen's an
fan, Zach. I'm not a Bills fan, Zach, but I'll tell everybody out there right now that I hope everyone enjoyed the Super Bowl you watched on Sunday night because we're not going to see another playoff game as entertaining as that. I almost guarantee that.
I saw a meme or something that said the NFL has decided to scrap the Super Bowl and play best out of 7 between the Bills and the Chiefs. But look, I grew up in Syracuse hating the Bills because I was a Raiders fan. I had to deal with all the Bills fans. My cousins, all my best friends were all Bills fans, and I grew up hating them. But I tell you, I love Cole Beasley. I love Josh Allen. love Josh Allen. That dude is a freaking animal, and they don't come.
He's just a humble dude.
He's humble, and he's just a maniac, and I love it. So
Gabe Davis, sleeper fantasy pick next year.
Yeah, not anymore. All right, Zach.
We'll see.
We're gonna hit a couple more of these, buddy. I appreciate you chiming in, man.
Keep doing what you're doing, and freaking, you know what? Till the end, I'll be orange till the day I die, and I know you guys will be too. So.
That's right, and you're hardcore.
Absolutely, buddy.
All you guys that listen to this show still are hardcore, Zach.
If there's anything we can take about what they're doing with the football program, I feel comfortable that they can turn this around with the basketball program.
Yeah.
You know, so
we will see.
We'll see.
All right, buddy. You take care, man.
All right, guys.
All right. Our boy Zach from Facebook. You hear me mention him all the time. We're gonna skip a couple of these. And we'll go. Let's do at Mahirio_10. Benny was terrific. Definitely looking forward to seeing him nab more minutes in the coming games. Zone was crisp. Every rotation so good. Hands were up. Communication was there. Buddy Joe Cole lighting it up from out there. Need this going forward. Thank you, Mahir. Thank you for giving me a little bit of a laugh. At Cuse Waterboy. Look, water baby born last week. Or was it the beginning of this week? I think it was over the weekend. I can't remember. Recently. We were hoping that Syracuse could go on a run for Water Baby, but it didn't happen. So it's a little sad. He says, Cuse Waterboy, I pride myself on being optimistic and fun-loving guy, so when I say that apathy has worked its way in, and I can't even truly get worked up over the result of this game. That's very telling. This feeling absolutely sucks. Yeah, like I was telling Joe before we came on, I was like, and sometimes Joe and I will talk before we come on, but I think we both knew it wasn't worth it after this one. but I did tell him, I was totally emotionless last night watching that game just crumble before my eyes. I wasn't mad. I was just waiting for it to be over so I could shut the TV off, put my posts out on social media for thoughts on the game, and go to bed. And that's where I was, and that's where I am, and that's too bad. So I feel you.
Yeah, we're gonna lose our cardiac Cuse card.
Yeah, right. I would love a cardiac Cuse game at this point.
At least there'll be less heart attacks.
Right? Take me to Kraus. At Jamie Jewett. Not having Samir really hurt and shots were off across the board. Wish Benny went in sooner for rebounding. We still had a great time at the game cheering them on. Good. Went to Pitt or live in Pitt, either or. We representing Cuse there. That's awesome. It's a tough year, but we've got some great talent coming in. That's true. I like the optimism. We got some great talent coming in, but you know what I always say. Until they are in a jersey on the floor, guys, I'm not counting my chickens before my eggs are hatched. And that's just as simple as that. One more, and we'll hit this stupid Wake Forest game up real quick. Great game. Loved the energy. Loved seeing Benny play. Loved seeing Cuse score blazing 13 points in the final 14 minutes and holding Pitt to only 40 in the second half. Can't wait for Wake on Saturday. Yes. Speaking of Wake, Joe.
I love the satire.
I know. You got to have it sometimes.
100%.
Did I mention him? Who was that? Did I mention him? At E. Konecki. Thank you. E. All right.
E.
So, Syracuse returns home for an 8 p.m. matchup, and Joe has to get a beer. All right, Joe, go get a beer. I'll tell you what, these guys. Here he comes. He's going to rattle the headset. There it is.
Sorry, bro.
All right. Okay, can I talk now? It's going to be quick.
There used to be a day where it wouldn't, I wouldn't need to do that, but I need to drink to do these podcasts.
Oh, so you got the same amount of beers. You're just drinking them faster. Is that what it is?
No. Yeah, more. Yeah, pretty much. That's what it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Syracuse returns home for an 8 p.m. matchup this Saturday. The Orange looked to even the score with Wake Forest after losing in overtime 77-74 just a couple weeks ago. It was January 8th. Gerard Bain, we know the starting five, right? It hasn't changed all year. Overtime game, and just barely came out on the losing end of this thing. So Jimmy Boeheim, 21 points, and Cole Swider with 14 rebounds. Since playing Syracuse, Wake has lost to Duke. They've played 5 games, lost to Duke, wins over Virginia, Georgia Tech, North Carolina, and Boston College. All but the win over UVA were in double digits, and the win over Boston College was 30. Okay, so Ken Pom has them ranked 29th, with an adjusted offense ranked 42nd and an adjusted defense ranked 38th. So in the top 50 of both of those categories, and this team is good. And we are very fortunate to even hang with them. I feel like at this point, looking back at it, if we would have just pulled that one off, what a tremendous get that would have been. Wake Forest is 33rd in the net, making this a quad 2 game at home for Syracuse. Surprised it's only quad 2, but right there on the cusp. If they bump up just a little bit, they'll be in the quad 1 territory. They got to get in 30 or better in the net. So Joe, Transfer City, killing people out there, right? So
yeah.
What can we expect this time around? You mentioned that while teams are getting better, I would definitely put Wake Forest in that category. We are just treading water with our legs getting tired and our nose just barely above it right now. So, with that said, Joe, how do you see this matchup?
It's hard to be positive after this last game, obviously. Wake Forest is getting better, and they actually, when we played them, they had a guard out who transferred the last 2 years ago. So Steve Forbes, he came from East Tennessee State to replace Danny Manning, and he brought with him Davian Williamson, a guard from East Tennessee State. And he was injured when we played the first time, and he's not injured anymore. He's back in the starting lineup. So Cole Witt, guy with a long blonde hair, that the guard out there, he goes back to the guard spot. And again, like I said, Alondes Williams from Oklahoma this year transfer, Laravia from Indiana State transfer, Walton from Colorado transfer, Kadeem Sy, Ole Miss transfer, and then they got Musius, who's been to Wake Forest. Yeah. And honestly, you could see it when we played them the first time. And again, they've only gotten better, and a team like this will obviously only get better, as the season goes on. So you bring in four transfers plus a transfer from the year before. It's going to take a little while. Not looking forward to this game at all. And realistically, the only positive thing, I hope that Samir can come back, everything like that. Really, the only positive thing is that this game is at 8 o'clock, so that it's not early and it's not going to ruin my whole day.
No, it's just going to make you drink twice as fast when it's over.
Just wait till 8 o'clock, and by the end of the game, I'll be ready for bed, and that'll be that. It's probably about the positive. I'm not looking forward to this at all, and a lot of it comes down to the effort and a lot of the comments that we saw. You see the satire, and you see the players, people talking about they quit. Buddy's not going to quit. Certain players aren't going to quit, but a couple players, they're not going to win the game for you. So I don't know if there's a solution, especially if Sy's hurt. And, it's just one of those things where I'm always going to go into the game hoping for the best, right? Always going to go into it and this and that. But at this point,
we're in show me territory right now, Joe.
At this point, we're like, oh, let's get an upset. Can we get an upset against anybody in the ACC, right? Like Jim Boeheim said, let's just get a
tournament. I just want to win a game.
There's no tournament in our sight, not NCAA or maybe NIT.
It's looking bleak.
No,
they got to pull something out. We talked about getting 6 out of these next 8 and going 6-2. Well, I don't see a path for that anymore at this point.
See, the 7 or 6 out of 8, that was contingent on them coming out, beating Pittsburgh like they should have done. And then maybe with that, a little bit of momentum, go back home, maybe figure out something with Wake Forest. Who knows? I didn't really think that we were going to have a chance, even if we did beat Pitt.
You got to play Boston College within 11 days of one another, of each game.
Twice, yep. So, I mean, again, we'll see, but I'm not confident set for Saturday at all.
I'm not real confident either. And to our buddy Tony's point, I'm not really. The students will be back, so I hope that they can make some noise. I got to be honest, and I didn't say it, but I got to be honest. Is there not a part of anybody within earshot of my voice, Joe, anybody, who is at least a little bit envious of the Cameron crack? I like to call them the Cameron crackheads, okay, because I like insulting them. But is anybody a little jealous or envious of the Cameron crazies? Just the tradition, the energy, and I understand that obviously they're absolutely killing it this year. But they're always like that. They've had down years. They're always like that. And, the way they've got that set up, I just am so envious of that. And they stick our students in one little spot. And it's just tough. So I'm not trying to be hard on the kids, but it's tough with the way it's set up. It's so intimate at Cameron Indoor. It's such a unique place to be able to play and call your home court. I just wish we had this conversation a couple years ago. I just wish we could build another facility strictly for basketball, holds 15,000, and just make it as intimate as Cameron Indoor. I just feel like that's, the Manly Fieldhouse days. I was too young for all of that, to be honest with you. But man, you go back and look at some of the footage from that, and that's what it was, baby. It was crazy like that. Crazy, and I think we missed that. We could pack 30-something thousand in the dome. Well, we ain't doing it this year.
We're not doing it this year.
We're not doing it this year. We
talked about this. Even if we were good, we wouldn't be doing this.
No, you're right. I know. We don't want to revisit that. But even if we don't. To your point.
And we can't camp outside. We live in Syracuse. It's like single-digit degrees. We can't have a, Bayheimville.
Bayheimville. Yeah, true. All right. Look, we got to get going here. Okay. Look.
Yeah, we got to go.
I'm going to make
this. I'm about to get another beer.
I'm going to make this short and sweet. Okay. Look, I don't see Syracuse doing it. It's show me territory. Like I said, man, I got
Missouri.
I got it within single digits, but Syracuse doesn't win. 84-76. It's a home game. I'm hoping they can shoot a little better. But Wake Forest is putting up some pretty decent points as far as their offense goes, and they're really good. And so I don't see with Syracuse's defense. I think they got really lucky last time. This team's way better now. Talking about 87, 98, 80. 63 against Virginia, which is an anomaly. We all know pack line defense. Okay, 76 against Duke. But, Syracuse's defense doesn't match up to a UVA, a Duke, a North Carolina even. So, but that said, man, I got Wake Forest winning 84-76.
So who won anyway? You didn't even say anything.
I said I got Wake Forest winning 84-76.
Not that. Who won last game?
When we played
Pitt.
Wake? Oh, when we
Pittsburgh.
played Pitt? Yeah, we beat Pitt. Yeah.
Okay, and we did. We guessed the score. We did the prediction. Who won?
Oh, who won? Dude, I'm sorry. I blanked that game already from my memory.
Okay.
I'm sorry. You lost me, or I lost me. I lost you. You won. You're ahead by 2 games right now. I'm 3-5. You're 5-3.
I like how you tried to just
Sorry.
Bring that up.
Sorry.
Solid.
No, that wasn't on purpose. It wasn't on purpose. But
sure.
But I overshot the score like wildly dramatically.
Mm-hmm. I think we both did.
You were a lot better than I was, so which is why you pulled it off. But we both had Cuse winning, which we suck at that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
So again. So what was your prediction?
84-76, son. Wake Forest.
84-76. Okay. All right. My prediction is
no overtime.
No overtime.
Well, it was overtime last time. I'm saying it ain't gonna go in overtime.
Was it overtime last time?
Yeah, it was overtime last game. Where have you been? Do you listen to the podcast you're on while you're doing it? No, I didn't think so.
No. If you're talking, then no.
Okay.
They look.
Look what? We're
80.
all at the edge of our seats waiting for you. What?
80-67.
Would you
Wake
look
Forest.
at it? Just look at it. What'd you say?
80-67 Wake Forest.
Oh, you're undercutting me again.
Dude.
80 to 67 Wake Forest. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Imagine seeing that one in your head.
That's ugly. Actually, you didn't undercut me that much because you went to 67. So it's really close. It's actually a 5-point difference. So it can swing either way. Okay. All right. Look, we appreciate all of you. Thanks everybody in the green room. Michael, Tony, Zach, thanks for chiming in. We appreciate you guys. Really, really do.
And Pitt played way better than what they were too. Let's just talk
We
about
already
the
talked about that.
second half. You know what I mean? So,
Right. We already talked about that.
but Wake Forest is good. So
Wake Forest is just good, period, from start to finish.
Yeah.
I mean, they were good when we played them before. They're just better now. So
I think they're fifth in the conference right now.
They
Or
are
fourth.
fifth. They're fifth. Yep. All right. That is going to do it for us. We appreciate all of you for hanging out and listening. If you're here listening to this, you're hardcore. You are the hardcore of the hardcore. We appreciate it. We love you. And enough can't be said. We'll see you next time. For Joe, I'm Sean. We're out.
Peace.